Whenever I hear that sound, it brings me back to my happy place. If you don't know, every time you enter a Japanese convenience store or konbini, you hear this sound or music. Maybe some people think it's noise, but it's a well-known, recognized sound every time you go into the store. And to me, I've never had a bad experience going into Konbini because there's always something new to try, or you can always find your tried and true favorites. I'm not sure if any of you have eaten a egg sando or egg sandwich or even a ham sandwich at a convenience store in Japan, but there's just something about it. The way they do the eggs, the bread that it's put on, it's crustless, it's perfection, in my opinion. But this brings me to the book I want to talk about. It was published in 2016, translated in 2018. It's 163 pages long. This book is called Convenience Store Women. Hello, I'm Ruth. Welcome. I was kind of on a convenience store kick because of a book I previously read, The Second Chance Convenience Store, which, by the way, is a completely opposite contrast to this convenience store story here. The Second Chance one, I'll leave a link below, but that takes place in Korea. This convenience store story takes place in Japan. Even though it's 163 pages, there's a lot to unpack. For example, this book goes into themes about self-worth, what a normal society or normal person should act in society, what are the stigmas around working certain jobs, and the Japanese work ethic. So Keiko is the main character of this story. She's worked at this convenience store for a very long time. And this is what she's always known. And when you read about her, you can kind of tell that she's different. Maybe some people think she's different in a bad way or maybe different in a good way. Definitely not serial killer vibes, but just different. For example, she has to ask her sister on like what reasons she can give to people when they ask her certain questions. Of course, she can think on her own and things like that, but there's just some quirks and differences about Keiko that can be off-putting to people. Again, people might think that she's a little weird or odd. I wouldn't say she's on the spectrum because it's not really obvious, but along those lines, from just kind of reading more about Keiko. Anyways, she's very endearing. You know, she tries her best at the konbini. I think she really thrives in that environment, especially because the konbini environment gives her stability with a job, just knowing where things need to go, and just being very orderly, right? A konbini store, you have to be efficient because uh, there's going to be lunch rush, dinner rush, breakfast rush. And so you have to be very organized, making sure there's going to be products out there for the customers to buy, and also making sure you have good customer service. So I think Keiko checks all of those boxes off. So that's why she really thrives in this environment. And while I wasn't expecting how this story would go, I really wanted to know what Keiko would do and how the story is going to end. And I think that the title of the book really fits the story as well. There's another character in the book. So this book doesn't really focus a lot on these side characters too much. It just focuses on two main characters. The other one, that person really gets on my nerves. So that is a person I dislike in this book. This character takes no responsibility, blames it on other people, makes up excuses, really creepy behavior, unacceptable in my opinion. And for whatever reason, Keiko tries to give this other character a chance. If you haven't seen Shameless, this character kind of reminds me of the dad, Frank, where this person really has potential, is smart, but doesn't really use their smartness for the betterment of society. Very self-loathing. And so I think those two characters remind me of each other. I mean, one is a drug user, the other one isn't, but similarity in the way they act. Sometimes they spew really good, uh, wise and intellectual things they say, but again, they waste it on because they're lazy, because they just don't want to try in society. So very two different polar characters, both on, I think, extremes on the end of the whatever you would consider normal. And in the end, I actually really enjoyed the pacing of the story. Again, 163 pages. I don't know what's up with these type of books, but they have been pretty solid in my book. Even though it's not a lot of pages, there's so much to unpack or what you can glean from what you read. So this one is a solid 3 for me still, but I think that hopefully you'll also enjoy the story. To me, Keiko is endearing in her own way, and I was really rooting for her. And so I would say I'm very proud of how much she's grown and really finding herself, because it is hard, right? If you're working at a certain type of job, you get pressure from family, friends, society, right? Like, why are you just at this one job? You should be jumping jobs, or you should be striving to get a better job. Of course, all of those things are valid, but we also need to take into account like the person, right? Maybe the person is content where they're at, and that is okay too. So there's a lot of thoughts along those lines with jobs and what's acceptable and things like that. So overall, 3 stars for me. I hope that you'll check this book out, even though it's published a while back, but I think this one's a goodie to just try to experience and read. Please let me know your thoughts. Did you like this book? Did you like this book? Did you have a favorite character? Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. It will really help me out a lot. I will see you in the next video. Happy reading!